Today, as we talk about giving and living generously, I want you to turn back with me to Deuteronomy, the last book in the Torah, or the Law, the fifth book in the Bible. And in Deuteronomy chapter 15, we hear about a sabbatical year, a year of remission from debts. And it's a time of financial release, if you will, for those who are hurting and who are suffering. And some wonderful imagery and language in this chapter, including God saying through Moses, do not be hard-hearted or tight-fisted toward your needy neighbor. You should rather open your hand, willingly lending enough to meet the need, whatever it may be. And then, again in verse 10, give liberally and be ungrudging when you do so, for on this account the Lord your God will bless you in all your work and in all that you undertake. And then the summary verse, which is our verse for today, Deuteronomy 15:11. Since there will never cease to be some in need on the earth, I therefore command you, open your hand to the poor and needy neighbor in your land. I really appreciate in this passage the contrast between being tight-fisted and living with open hands, living generously, not holding too tightly to any material possessions that we have. One of the phrases I think young children seem to learn very readily and easily is, it's mine, mine. That word mine, usually said with a bit of a whine, is something that many parents are familiar with. But that's not how we're supposed to live as mature followers of Christ. We're not about saying something is mine, that it belongs to me, it's all mine. That's a tight-fisted way of living. And Jesus says, as we talked about yesterday, that's not how we're supposed to be. And he's basing it on his tradition, which we're hearing from the Torah, from Deuteronomy 15 today. Live with open hands. There's something else I want to bring up about this verse. It says, since there will never cease to be some in need on the earth. And Jesus echoes this statement in John's Gospel when he says, the poor you shall always have with you. Now what's really important to understand is Jesus' statement and this verse in Deuteronomy are not an excuse for Christians to be hard-hearted, indifferent, and lacking in compassion for the poor. They are not verses justifying, well, there's always going to be poor people. Jesus said so, so too bad for them. That's not the way we're supposed to respond. Deuteronomy 15 says, open your hand, willingly lend, willingly give. And living with open hands, holding our material possessions and our money easily and loosely, is the way God calls us to live as far as our possessions.